Hi friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the most important definitions of what is system, what is control system, and what is open loop control system, and what is closed loop control system. And also including with this we are going to discuss about the block diagram of open loop control system and the block diagram of closed loop control system. So first we are going to start with the definition of system. Okay, now see what is system. Here just see here what is system. Now the definition of system is when a number of elements or components are arranged in one sequence. Okay, when a number of elements or components are arranged in a sequence to perform a specific function. Okay, to perform a specific function. So this particular arranged sequence, that group is called as the system. Okay, again see here, when a number of elements or components are arranged in a sequence to perform a specific function, that group is called as the system. For example, if I am going to explain with one example, for example, this is the object. For example, this is a one object like TV, and for example, in order to control the operation of TV we required one remote. Okay, now see here, remote having one sensor, and also this remote having some motherboard, or we can also call it as printed circuit board. Okay, so printed circuit board. In this printed circuit board, what we are doing, we are using the resistor, and we are using the capacitor, and we are using the inductor. It means what? Whatever the components we require to manufacture this remote. So in this remote, what are the elements we are using? What are the components we are using? All these components we are arranging in one sequence to control this action. So this particular remote or this particular components which are available in the remote, that group we are calling as what? System. Okay, so that is the reason why in order to control the operation of a TV we are using this remote, and in the remote we are having the components, and all these components are arranged in sequence to perform this operation. So that particular group we are calling as the system. Okay, so this is about the definition of a system. And coming to the second one, that is what is control system. What is control system? Here the definition of control system is, in a system when output quantity is controlled by varying the input quantity is called as control system. Okay, now see here, when output quantity is controlled by varying the input quantity is called as control system. It means what? For example, see, for example, this is the one motor. For example, this is one motor, and here at the output side we are going to measure the speed of the motor, and this is the input side, we are applying some energy. Okay, now it means what? In order to control the speed of machine, definitely we need to do some changes in the input side. Okay, so depending upon this input side, so the output speed will control. It means what? There is a controlling in the speed depending upon controlling in the input. That is the reason why we are defining the definition of control system is what? When output quantity is controlled by varying the input quantity, that is called as control system. Here in this example, we are controlling the speed of the motor by varying the input. Okay, so this is the one of the example of the definition of control system. Okay, now coming to the another one, that is what is open loop system. Okay, here actually we have what is open loop system and what is closed loop system, and what is open loop control system and what is closed loop control system. Okay, so in order to define the definition of open loop control system and closed loop control system, first we need to know about the definition of system, we need to know about the definition of control system, and after that we are going to discuss about what is open loop system. Okay, now see here, the definition of open loop system is, see, the system which does not automatically correct the variation in its output is called as open loop system. It means what? Same example we are taking. For example, see, again we are considering, for example, this is the motor, and here we are going to just see here, this is the output and this is the input, for example. Okay, now here the output is what? Actually speed. It means what? This speed is not going to control with the help of this input. That is the reason why we are calling as what? Open loop system. Just see here again, which does not automatically correct the variation in its output is called as open loop system. It means, just see here, actually we are expecting the speed of the machine. For example, we are expecting the speed of the machine, that is 1000 rpm we are expecting actually, but in the system we are getting only 800 rpm. It means what? We are expecting 1000 rpm but we are getting 800 rpm. It means what? This error, that is what? 20 rpm is the error. This 20 rpm is not going to controlled with the help of this input. So this type of systems we are calling as what? Open loop system. Okay, so that is the reason why the definition of open loop system is the system which does not automatically correct the variation in its output is called as open loop system. Okay, now coming to the definition of open loop control system. Okay, now the definition of open loop control system is, you see here, control system in which the output quantity has no effect upon the input quantity are called open loop control system. It means what? For example, this is the system. For example, this is the system having output and system having, for example, input here. It means what? This output quantity has no effect upon input quantity. It means what? This output is not going to affecting on input. So this type of systems we are calling as open loop control systems. Okay, this output is not going to affecting on input. It means this type of system we are calling as open loop control system. Okay, so that is the reason why the definition of open loop control system is the control system in which output quantity has no effect upon the input quantity are called open loop control systems. Okay, now coming to the block diagram of a open loop control system. Now see, so this is the block diagram of a open loop control system. Now see, this one is the output and this one is the input. Now between this output and input we are having the controller and we are having some plant. Plant means what? Whatever the system we are taking, that assembled part we are calling as plant. Okay, now this is the output and this is the input. As per the definition of open loop control system, this output is not going to affecting on the input. That is the reason why, for example, same, for example, we are expecting 1000 rpm at the output, but instead of this 1000 rpm we are getting only 900 rpm. It means here between these two we are having 100 rpm is the error, and this 100 rpm is not going to corrected by the input. So that is the reason why output is not going to affecting on the input to correct this value. It means what? Instead of 1000 we are getting 900, means the 100 rpm is the error, and this error is not going to automatically correct with the help of input. So this is the block diagram of a open loop control system. Now coming to what is closed loop system. Here the definition of closed loop system is the system in which the output has an effect upon the input quantity in order to maintain the desired output value are called closed loop systems. It means what? For example, this is a system. For example, this is a system, and this, for this particular system we are having output and this is the input. For example, same, For example, we are expecting 1000 rpm here, but instead of 1000 rpm we are getting only 900 rpm, and here error is 100 rpm. Error is 100 rpm. In order to reduce this particular error, we required some concept. That concept we are calling as what? Feedback. So this particular path we are calling as feedback. So instead of 1000 we are getting 900. This 900 rpm is directly sent to again input, and this output, whatever the 900 rpm we are getting, this 900 rpm again it's going to comparing with the input, and we are going to get some error signal, and this error signal we are applying to the system in order to get the accurate value of 1000 rpm. So that is the reason why here, what is the definition of closed loop system? Output has effect upon the input quantity. So this type of system we are calling as what? Closed loop system. And here the definition of closed loop control system. Okay, the definition of closed loop control system is the open loop control system. The open loop system can be modified as a closed loop system by providing a feedback. The provision of the feedback automatically corrects the changes in the output due to disturbance. So that type of systems we are calling as closed loop systems, or we can also call as automatic control system. It means this is the system, this is the output, this is the input. If you are not getting output accurately, then this whatever the response we are getting, that again output, this response is again going to comparing with the input through the feedback concept, and in order to get the desired response. Okay, whatever the output we are expecting, that output is always get with the help of what? The concept of closed loop system. Okay, so that's why we are calling as open loop system can be modified as a closed loop system by providing a feedback concept. The provision of this feedback is always automatically corrects the changes in output due to the disturbance. So this type of systems we are calling as automatic control systems, or we can also call it as closed loop control system. And here, this is the block diagram of a closed loop control system. Now see here, so this is the controller, this is the plant, and here we are using extra part, that is what? Feedback. When we are going to comparing with the open loop control system, closed loop control system having a feedback path, and with the help of this feedback path, this output is going to comparing with the input to reduce the error which is available at the output. Okay, so this is the block diagram of a closed loop control system. Okay, so like this we are going to, actually we discussed about what is system, what is control system, what is open loop system, what is open loop control system, what is closed loop system, what is closed loop control system, and what is the block diagram of open loop and closed loop control system. Okay, so this is about the definition of all these. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.